Yes, this is her.
Del, this is Keith Goertz for the DEC, returning your call.
Yes, hi Keith. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay, thank you. I just wanted to call and give you a heads up. I got a very, very, very interesting recording this afternoon, and that was with, what is his name? He is one of the directors with the New York State Health Department up in Albany, Rob Swider. And I had asked him the question, number one, I needed him to change a clarification on the letter because it seemed to be so important with Lieutenant Biter that even though I told him the story, I mean multiple times of how the lead got into the windowsill with the broken window and how a New York State assessor had said that there is no lead hazard inside my home, outside my home, the siding, the roof, even my plumbing is PEX tubing. And yet, although he was saying that he is not, concerned with the lead because the DEC had it written incorrectly, I guess. But I have that the clarification letter now stating that they are not saying it came from inside my home. They're saying they don't know where it came from. So, but anyway, with that, I also wanted to ask him why Kristen Kulo went that day while she was here to take the water samples, and why when she was here, she had told us, my home, and also the adjacent neighbor's home on the other side of Mr. Edwards' property, why she decided to go after she got concerned about the quality of the water for the wetland, why she decided to go and take a test of water up at the very front of Mr. Edwards' property, which is the complete opposite side of where the debris is in the wetland, and it's uphill. I mean, it has no relevance whatsoever. It was the tiny little puddle at the bottom of a mulch mound, and it was a waste of test, pretty much. And
you said you got a strange phone call.
No, it's strange recording. No, not strange. It's very nice. It's actually it just goes to prove how this investigation has gone. Is that when I had asked him this on Friday of why he decided to take that from there, he actually found that out and called me, and he said that in fact that DEC Lieutenant Biter directed her to go there, that this investigation is yours, it's the DEC's, and it was up to your lieutenant to take her to the proper place and to take a water sample, in which he felt the best place to do it was the front of Mr. Edwards' property that had nothing at all, no relevance to do with this investigation whatsoever. Instead, this investigating officer who is supposed to be here with this suspicious debris, while he has a New York State Health Department worker here with many empty vials, like she had stated, and she said, where do you want me to test? And instead of finding out the quality of water to these wetlands that flows to a community that depends on this water, it goes down to the town of Saugerties Reservoir, why would he choose not to take advantage of this water test and find the quality of this water for this wetland, instead direct her to take a test tube from the very front of Mr. Edwards' property? So he had said, and I have a nice recording of it, this is a director for the health department, that it was your lieutenant that directed her to do that. And I'm asking you kind of the same I asked him, of why would the lieutenant investigating and that's supposed to be concerned for these wetlands, why wouldn't he take advantage of that opportunity?
I don't know. Without speaking to him, I can't tell you why he chose the sample location he chose.
Yeah, it's a mulch mound.
I don't know the answer to your question.
Yeah, it's a small mulch mound that's only been there 3 or 4 months, maybe. There's multiple puddles at the bottom of the mound over here, and this is the things that have been going on, for the past few months, that when other divisions call, he's telling them, yes, it is true that he has, tested Mr. Edwards' property. However, it's on the opposite side of the debris, stating that it's encroaching the wetland when, in fact, once you step off of most of the large construction debris blocks, you are in the water of the wetland. The wetland water is right there, and the only reason why the water has moved back so much is because of Mr. Edwards' debris. And when I spoke with the biologist that was here last week, he said, oh, well, the other biologist said it was low. Well, when you come out in the middle of a summer where you have a drought, yes, the wetland does go down a little bit, but most of the time you're able to walk right out here and it's water. Right at the bottom of this debris is water. There's no separate body of water. This is an entire body of water that once the rain washes off from this debris, it's directly into this body of water that meets down at the town of Saugerties Reservoir. That how they're stating to people like Daniel Montella, what's his name, the gentleman for Fish and Wildlife, they told me that after they had called that this is how they were being misled, and that it was signed in. These tractor trailers were leaves and yard brush and grass clippings. When meanwhile, I don't know where the sworn statements are from myself, the neighbors, and a couple other people that witnessed these tractor trailers literally dumping this construction debris, none of it of which was leaves or grass clippings at all. But how is this moving forward on compounded of an entire foundation of lies? It's apparent to this entire community. This is not just me. I've been trying to explain that to quite a few people. There's reporters that are investigating this entire investigation. There's people behind me that are watching this very closely and wondering what the hell is going on, how we're directed to the DEC for environmental hazards, but yet this investigation is corrupt. Everybody can see it but you guys. And I guess you guys don't want us to think so, but it's obvious. Even Pete Lopez, 5 minutes of me showing him proof. It's not that I'm just, pardon me, talking out of my ass. I have the proof to cover it up. I have the lies, and then a different recording of something else. And it's just, when is this going to finally just give up and just tell the truth?
I don't think we're not telling the truth.
I have a recording where Lieutenant Biter told me that that's where Kristen Krulo wanted to take the test. Now the director of the New York State Health Department is telling me that's where she was directed, that this is the DEC's investigation, which it is, which DEC you guys asked the Health Department to please come in and test. So yes, it was up to you guys, and it was Lieutenant Biter that told her, no, we're going to go over here to a pile that means nothing at all. I mean, that doesn't make sense.
He wouldn't tell the health department not to sample someplace that they wanted to sample, and the health department wouldn't listen to us if we did say that.
Okay, would you like to hear the recording?
Well, the recording aside, if the fact of the matter is, he may have told her to sample where you're talking about, but he wouldn't have told her not to sample anywhere else if they thought there was something else important. I mean, these things it's not like they're working for us either, the DOH. If they have concerns, they would follow up on them as well.
Well, no, actually, during that conversation.
Whether this was a DEC-initiated investigation or not.
No, actually, with this, because anybody who's ever come out here now is always got to be chaperoned now by the DEC. Like, Kristen Krulo could have come out here by herself. Why did Lieutenant Biter have to chaperone herself? Or why did she have to be chaperoned? But no, it was...
She doesn't have to be. If she wants to go... We don't have control over the health department. They're a separate entity.
But you guys asked them to come here, and that's why it was your investigation. You guys asked them to come here and test these things.
We initiated it, yes, and we would ask them to sample certain areas that we feel are important. But if there was an area where they thought was important that we wouldn't tell them not to sample it.
Well, she didn't actually get to go down there and see it since she was chaperoned by Lieutenant Biter. He didn't actually take her down and let her see. When you stand in front of this large mound of garbage, these photos, like the one reporter that came here, she said, oh my God, these photos have no clue. When you're standing and you feel so small to this huge 20 to 30 pile high mound of construction debris with garbage bags sticking out of it, They don't get to see that. Everybody's taken up to the top. Nobody gets to see.
Anybody who wants to go over there can go over there. We don't have, it's not like it's limited to DEC personnel. If somebody the health department wants to go there, they can go there. We're not going to tell them not to.
What's sad is like I said, these other agencies, EPA, Fish and Wildlife, is that when they get notice of this and they first call you guys thinking that you're doing the right thing, is they listen to you and see what the investigation is doing. Meanwhile, the investigation is misleading and it's false. It pretty much straight up, pardon my French, it's bullshit. That number one, they're telling people that the water has been tested. No, they're not specifically saying the wetland water has been tested, but when these people are calling, I mean, come on, you've got to know what they're talking about. They're not asking about a 3-month-old mulch mound in the front of Mr. Edwards' property. Number two, they're saying that it's not in the wetlands when meanwhile the water is right there. Number three, that it was investigated that it was leaves and grass clippings brought up from Long Island with tractor trailers. Why would tractor trailers want to drive all the way up there, spend the money on gas to dump grass clippings here in little old Palinville? It's more expensive to just take it, than a brush dump. This is stuff a dump doesn't even want.
They don't have places to take it.
There's many more places that are closer than here and down into these protected wetlands.
Well,
there's sworn statements.
It's not supposed to go into the protected wetlands. That is true. But I mean, the bottom line is he did take mulch there. Now I know you believe he buried something out there, and when that material that's infringing on the wetland gets excavated, we will be out there to take a look to see if there was anything else hidden in there that we didn't know about.
Now you can see it all coming out from the top as it is. You can walk down there and you see at least a dozen garbage bags.
We had our solid waste person go out there, and based on, and this guy's got over 30 years of experience in this, and he didn't feel like there was anything there that, the stuff that was exempt was de minimis, is his words in his report.
I guess he didn't see the sworn statements, right, about how on the other side there was the cemetery of refrigerators and air conditioners and how, so why would the people lie with the tractor trailers and say that they brought up grass clippings and leaves when there's sworn statements from so many others stating that the debris that you see here is construction debris?
I asked for the sworn statements that you're referring to, and I only saw one in our file.
No. The neighbors. I did myself. Roland Hackett did. Martina Merced has. If you need it from my children, I have a 16-year-old. I don't know if she's old enough, but this used to rattle my home. Like I stated, my bedroom window is about 30 feet from where he was dumping with these tractor trailers. Now, 3 o'clock in the morning, when you hear that beeping backing up, and then all of a sudden your house is rattling, you tend to kind of look out the window. And with the reverse lights, I could see the debris, and it was this debris and construction debris that you see here. There was no leaves, there was no grass clippings, nothing as such. And if you look at that, you don't even see any grass clippings in that. Instead, you see dirt mixed with shredded garbage bags. If you look close at some of the photos, and unfortunately you can't do it through the YouTube video, if you screen in on it, it's, I don't know who, somebody must have taken a shredder and shredded a bunch of garbage bags, because that's a lot of what the soil is. There is no grass clippings. That's complete insanity. And if I were you guys, whoever said that was grass clippings dumped there, you're really going to want to investigate them and where else they've dumped, because that's a lie. And if you guys are believing that that person with 30 years needs to go back to training or retire, that was not leaves. This is all construction debris. Whoever signed those in is doing illegal things. And if you're going to sit there and let them tell you it's grass clippings, I would be even more scared to find out what's underneath that, because that's crap. There was no grass clippings.
He didn't say it was grass clippings. He said it was exempt material, and anything that wasn't exempt more material that's not exposed, that is not exempt, which is the reason why we will have somebody out there when that material gets moved. But until then, there's really not a lot we can do.
Oh, I would just suggest, these other divisions want to come in, and it just seems like you guys really aren't interested in this one. I don't understand why you just wouldn't go ahead and tell them, fine, here you go. Instead, don't lie to them. Don't mislead them. Like I said,
that's my point. We're not lying. Why would we lie about it?
Why would Lieutenant Biter take her to the very front of the property?
I don't know. I'll have to ask them because I don't know. There might be a reason, and I'm sure there is a reason why he did that. But keep in mind, the health department is a separate, independent agency. If they feel there was someplace else that needed to be sampled, they could have easily have done that. They don't require marching orders from the DEC. We're not their supervisor. We're not their boss. They can do that. Now, did Lieutenant Biter tell her to sample up there? Maybe he did. I don't know because I didn't talk to him about that. But if he did, I can ask him what the reason is for. But if there was another area that the health department was concerned about, they could go and sample that. They can do that now.
Well, I know a huge question for me. A huge question that has been asked to me by many, many, many people is why wouldn't he have taken that advantage, that chance that he had to find out what is beneath this, that since it is so suspicious and so many people have complained about it and what it's due to the environment here, how it's killed the trees, the vegetation, what it's done to the water, what it is that we've seen dumped there, why wouldn't he take the initiative to say, hey, you know what, why don't we just walk down 20 feet over this way too and grab a water sample from here? I mean, this goes to so many other people also. Honestly, I know you're trying to defend the DEC, but that's just common sense. I mean, and if it's still going to be argued, I mean, that even makes it scarier. That's just seriously downright simple and common sense. If everybody's saying it's dirty, there's bad things in there, why wouldn't it, while it's right there in front of him, say, you know what, let me make sure this other town down the road is safe. At the front of his property, I'm sure his gate is going to get along just fine. I don't think it's poisoned. I mean, that just made no sense, and it was, this has gone back and forth with Lieutenant Biter and Kristen Kulo, and that was a beautiful day. You're right, and even Kristen had somewhat denied a little bit, and she said, well, it wasn't accessible. And I said, well, yes, it was. But at first, she did tell me that Lieutenant Biter took her there, and then it seemed after she talked to Lieutenant Biter, she kind of changed her story. It's exhausting trying to I don't know. Like I said, it's just common sense. And so many people asking me about that, and that it just, I don't know. Now, do you know if the Army Corps of Engineers is still involved in this and moving forward?
I can ask. I don't know. I don't think they are, but I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, because I was kind of curious when I talked to Lieutenant Biter the other day, and he said, well, they were supposed to be here, and they didn't show up. But I said, that was another thing, but why does the DEC have to chaperone everybody?
I'm sorry, why does the DEC have to what?
Have to chaperone everybody,
We don't.
Yeah.
We don't.
And the DEC could have come here all on their own.
If the Army Corps wants to go by themselves, then God bless them, they can go ahead.
Have you heard from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife or anything from Daniel Montella or anybody?
No, I haven't heard that from them.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, and I appreciate your time. Thank you for calling me back. I don't mean to be a pain in your ass. I just want this cleaned up. It's the right thing to do. It's that simple.
I'm very frustrated with how this is going. I fully understand it.
It's very simple. It's the right thing to do. It's so simple, and I'm blown away by how just the right thing should have just been done to begin with. It was that simple. So, and it's scary to so many people. So many people, are supposed to rely on the DEC. I mean, it's so sad how many people now are just losing faith. And it's like, why lie so much? Just do the right thing, Well,
I'm not lying to you. I mean, I'm telling you the truth as best as I know it.
Well, I know you haven't been on this that long. I do know Officer Dewey. He was corrupt. I told you, he threatened me, tried to deter me from calling on Mr. Edwards' activity when meanwhile this man is filling in a wetland with construction debris. I mean, wouldn't you call too? Yeah, and it's, and then Lieutenant Biter, there's been lies and then the cover-ups, and then, I have recordings that counteract each other quite a bit, and I'm like, what, you realize what you just said last week? It's nothing short of complete insanity, and it shouldn't be that way. Well, I have another call. I think it's my daughter's friend calling. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time and calling back.
You're welcome.
Have a good day. Bye.